Hello, welcome back to the Fish Locker. It's that time of year when we've had the boat out over winter and we're going to be anti-fouling it. Now, anti-foul is a type of paint you generally use on the bottom of the boat, anywhere waterline and below. And what it is, it's a protective coating that has a biocide in it that prevents any barnacles, any weed, any type of marine life like that from growing on your hull. Because not only can barnacles damage your hull, but also it affects your fuel efficiency as well. It'd be like trying to swim in a swimming pool and dragging a towel behind you. Would be the same as if the bottom of your boat was covered in weed and barnacles. Now, the first thing that you're going to have to figure out is there's a couple of different types of anti-foul that you'll find on the market. There's one for high-speed boats, which is a harder one. It's called a polished anti-foul. And there is a softer, self-eroding anti-foul, which is for slower boats, for yachts, for pleasure boats, for fishing boats like mine. And the classification generally is 30 knots. If your boat is going to be travelling above 30 knots for most of the time, you need a hard anti-foul. If you had a soft anti-foul, it would just get washed off. Because although my boat does do 20 knots, I very rarely travel at 20 knots. I'll be 10 to 12 most of the time, whenever I'm steaming anywhere. So I need a soft, eroding anti-foul. And you can see on here, high strength, erodible anti-fouling with extra performance for sail and power boats. Now, simply by their nature, because they have a biocide in them which prevents marine life from growing, that tells you generally that they are harmful for the environment. As you can see straight away on the back of the tin, dangerous for the environment. That means that anything that you're doing with this, you should really be wearing gloves and a face mask. We're going to be sanding down bits of the old anti-foul, so you definitely need a dust mask. I'll be wearing glasses, gloves and a dust mask. I do mine in 2 coats, and I do them in 2 different colours. My base coat last year was black. My top coat was red. The reason why I did this was because when I come to this time of year when I'm going to be redoing it, I want to know if there are some areas of my hull which are wearing faster than others. If I just painted both coats the same colour, both red, I wouldn't know which was top coat and which was bottom coat. So because my bottom coat was black, anywhere that's rubbed off, the red will show black, so I'll know. I will just show you such now. You can see here, along this rib and up on this, if you follow it along as well on this bit of the waterline, it's the same on the opposite side of the boat. This is the starboard after quarter. This must be where most of the wave action comes. As I'm steaming along, most of the water coming past here is what's rubbed it off. So I know that I need to pay particular attention to this area when I'm painting it again. Now there are some other marks, but I did come upon a bit of debris. It was a semi-submerged tree trunk. It was about 6 to 8 inches underneath the water and I didn't see it until I was on top of it. So that's actually taken all of the anti-foul off. So I need to... I asked a friend of mine who works at a boatyard who does this for a living, and he said if it's taking it right back down, all you do is try and flake it off. If it's good paint and it's still stuck, just feather in the edges, and anywhere else that's good, just give it a light coat, a light sand. And all you're doing is you're just roughing up the surface so that it gives the next coat something to bind to. If it's all smooth, the next coat will struggle to bind onto it. Whereas if it's rough, because you give it a quick sand, then it'll be able to bind on better. Whereas these bits, if you just painted straight on, there would always be a ridge where the edge is. That's why you need to feather them in. So we'll go around now. We'll give it a little bit of a scrub because this water line here is still stuck on. Then we'll give it a sand. Right, I've give all the areas around the outside I'll give all the areas around the outside of it a good sand off now. The parts were chipped off, I feathered them in. The parts that were good, I've just given them a quick once over just to rough them up a little bit. You can see there why it's important to wear a dust mask. Well, you can see I'm absolutely covered. The areas, you can see, I feathered in all the edges. And areas like this on the waterline where it was chipped off as well, I feathered in the edges. You can see how much dust is on there now, look. So what I'm going to have to do is we'll give it a wash off now. If you can see this part here, where the roller is, I couldn't get in there to sand because the roller's there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the strap off and I'm going to roll the boat back, maybe that far, so that I can get at those patches. There, look. But yeah, all the bits that needed feathering in, look, have all been done. I've just got to do with the patches that are underneath the rollers. Right, I've taken the secondary retention off and I've undone the ratchet strap that holds my boat to the trailer, and I've given myself about 6 inches of slack on the main winch. Now the winch is in gear and I've only given myself a couple of inches and it's still attached, because if I get the boat rolling down the trailer, I don't want it to roll off the bottom. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to lift it and let it slide down off the trailer until this comes tight. Just like that. So I've given myself 6 inches now. So those places where I couldn't reach, where the rollers were on the underside, on the hull, the boat will move now, so I'll be able to get to them. I've been all the way around the waterline now with just normal masking tape, and you can see. The trick I've found is don't make your pieces too long. You try and do it all in one strip and it just ends up like that. And the trick is that your bottom line wants to have no bumps. It doesn't matter about getting a few in there, but the bottom line doesn't want to have any bumps in it. So all the way along, like this, you're marking your water line. Make sure it's all pushed down, so that with the roller you don't have to be so precise. You can afford to go a little bit over the edges, and then at the end all you do is you just peel it off. These first couple of coats are black, have dried, you can see. So we'll just give it a couple of coats of red now. Thing of beauty. Now that we're all dried off, all you need to do is peel your tape off your water line. Follow it all the way along. You can see here where I couldn't reach with the roller because the block was in the way. Because we rolled the boat back on the trailer, we just need to check that it's dry. When we roll the boat back on that way, I'll be able to get to those patches. You can see the patches there and there where the rollers were. Now that I've rolled the boat back onto the trailer, I can paint these. There's just one there and the other ones there and there. Once they're painted, then we're ready to go.